What's up, faders? Welcome to yet another action-packed episode of Got Faded Japan. I am your host, Johnny, and this is episode number 447. And as you fine folks know, Got Faded Japan is about two dudes, booze, Japan, and the news. And frankly speaking, we kind of fucked up protocol this time. We really dropped the ball because, well, there is no booze, and we didn't really have any news this week, and I really apologize, but don't worry, I'm going to make it up to you because I got something better. I got something a little bit better for you guys. I've got Tom Green in the house. Tom Green, the legend, the king of underground comedy. In my book, the god of underground comedy is on Got Faded Japan, and we are so very honored to have him here. And this episode is spectacular. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. We talk about what's happening in comedy right now and what he's doing in comedy, and about him and his stand-up, and it's fantastic. And for anybody and everybody who is living in Asia, you better get yourself down to the Comedy Shop and go check him out. He's going to be coming. He's going to be coming to Asia. And if you're breathing air, just like us, if you're above ground, if you're walking around amongst us, you better get your ass down to the comedy shops and you better see him because his stand-up is spectacular. You can check it out on YouTube. He's got a little bit of it up there, and it is really great. His crowd work is hilarious. His stories are fantastic. It is an experience. It's not just a show, it's an experience. And I highly recommend for each and every one of you guys to check out his show. Hands down, I will be there. I wish he was going to be in Tokyo a little bit longer. He's actually going to be here for 2 days. But if he had 2 or 3 shows, I would go to all those shows. Every single show, I would be there. Not in the front row. Not in the front row, as you'll hear at the end of the show. I will definitely not be in the front row. I'll be sitting at the bar. I'll be sipping on my beer with a grin in my hand. It's going to be fantastic. And if you're living in Japan, I don't care where you are in Japan. If you're in Hokkaido, if you're in Osaka, if you're in Musashi Kosagi, if you're in Takamatsu, you better get your ass down to Good Heavens Bar. It's not really a bar, it's more of a venue, I guess. They'd say Good Heavens Bar. If you Google it, it says Good Heavens Bar, but it's more of a venue space. It's big. It's big. It's got an amazing amount of drinks. Their bartenders are fantastic. But Google Good Heavens in Shimokitazawa, because on April 15th, Tom Green will be there. And you better bet your ass that I'm going to be there too. Definitely come down to see Tom Green's show. And please enjoy this interview. Thank you very much. And support us on Patreon. Okay, cool. So it looks like we're recording and we're all good on my end. Are you guys recording on your end at all?
No.
Okay, no problem. Sometimes people want to do a swap cast, so I was just asking.
Oh, okay. No, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, a swap cast is when two podcasters do an interview, or one podcaster talks to another podcaster and they use the same material, and basically they just upload it on both of their podcasts. Swapcast.
Wow, that's cool. I learned something today. So what are we going to talk for, like 10, 15 minutes or something? How long is the interview?
It's about as long as you want. I mean, if you got 15 minutes, 15 minutes should be fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's just like... I find sometimes if I go on longer than that, it sort of like gets a little redundant,
No, I've already heard a couple of your podcasts and stuff. And I want to do something completely different. So,
yeah.
I mean, in most of your podcasts, you talk about your past, your history, what you've done up to now. I kind of want to turn the tables, and I want to talk about what you're doing now and your future, and talk about comedy in general. I think that'd be more interesting and kind of cool for our Asian audience.
I love that.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
So now, forgive me if I don't have an answer for you, though.
I'm the same way when I get interviewed, so it's all good.
Yeah, I wish I knew what I was doing with my future and my present. But let's try. Let's try to figure it out together.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm just going to go from here. I'm not going to do an introduction or anything. I'll take care of that in post. So, Tom, recently you're on the Birdcast episode number 320, which is basically 100 off from 420. I guess you just missed that, huh? And I gotta say, dude, the Brookcast was absolutely spectacular. I mean, what you guys discussed in the past was really detailed and really interesting, and that's why I don't want to talk about anything about what you did in your past, because it's all there. And I really first want to talk to you about Burt Kreischer, man. Have you done comedy with Burt Kreischer?
I see him around the Comedy Store, and I'm a big fan of his. So that was the first time I've ever actually done his podcast. So that's cool. Yeah, it's cool that you heard that. I had a lot of fun on his show. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. He was on our show when he came to Asia a couple years ago. And I got to say, dude, that guy is 110% genuine. That guy, what you see is what you get. He's great. He's nice. He's friendly. He loves to drink. And he's like a big teddy bear. You know, he takes off his shirt and he gives you a hug and he orders beers. He's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? He's definitely an incredible talent, an amazing podcaster, amazing comedian, hilarious guy. I think he was drunk when we did the podcast. No, I don't know if he was actually.
Yeah, we were too.
Hey, I like to drink too. You know, I've been known to have a few myself.
Well, you're talking to the right guy. I mean, the name of the podcast is Got Faded Japan, and all we're about is two dudes, booze, Japan in the news. It's kind of our tagline. And booze definitely plays a part. Not so much today because it's 4 o'clock in the morning. If I started drinking at 11 right now, I'd be dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to coming over there and drinking some sake. Mm-hmm. and hanging out with you. You're in Tokyo, are you?
Yeah, I'm in Tokyo. Actually, you're going to be performing at, I think it's Good Heavens on April 15th. I'm 4 stations away from you, so I'm definitely going to be there. My crew's going to be showing up and stuff, and hopefully with this podcast, I mean, the place is going to be packed to the gills, you know?
Yeah, so you got a lot of people that listen to your podcast in Tokyo.
All around the world, actually. We're pretty big in Scandinavia, Australia, Russia, of course, America, Canada, England. I think we got one listener in North Korea. I'm not sure who it is, though.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un, probably.
Maybe him, maybe his sister, I don't know. But hopefully they support us. I mean, we got a Patreon, so.
Why are you in Tokyo?
Why am I in Tokyo? Oh, God, that's the $1 million question with a 50-cent answer. Let's see. I've been in Tokyo for 16 years. I came here right after the dot-com bust. It all comes down to a death, a breakup, and I guess friendship, I guess. Long story short, that's it.
Cool. Well, good. I'm excited to do this tour because I've never done an Asian tour before. And I'm going to be performing for, I'm assuming, audiences full of expats and people from England and Canada and the United States and Australia, and mostly English-speaking audience, right, will be coming to my show? Or am I wrong? Is it going to be an audience filled with Japanese people that don't understand what I'm saying? Because that would be funny, too, actually. I probably would prefer that, to be honest with you.
You know what? You're going to get a handful of everybody, to be honest. And there's going to be people from all over the world there. You're going to get people from Sweden. You're going to get people from Iran, from Hong Kong, Singapore, of course, all the other Western countries, America and Canada.
But people they're going to be people that speak English, right? Because my show's in English.
Yeah, mostly everybody's going to be in English. Well, at least in Japan.
Be weird if I had to speak Swedish, Arabic, and English and Japanese all in one show.
Well, I mean, if you could do Braille, you'd be best.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. I'm excited about it, though. I've been to Tokyo before, though. I've been to Tokyo, but I've not been to the other countries on this tour. I'm going to Singapore. I'm going to Philippines. I'm going to Manila, Philippines. I'm going to Saigon, Vietnam. I'm going to Shanghai and Hong Kong. So it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing Asia and performing in Asia for the first time. So that'll be cool. But I did go to Tokyo before. Mm-hmm. I shot a special for MTV called the Subway Monkey Hour in Tokyo, which was a lot of fun, where we went around and pulled pranks on people on the streets of Tokyo and Kyoto and Nagano. So I love Japan. I'm very excited to be coming back. I haven't been back to Japan in 15 years, and I'm very, very thrilled just to be coming back to Japan, and being able to do comedy there is just the cherry on top.
That's awesome. Yeah, and
The
regarding
icing on the cake.
icing on the cake, awesome. Regarding your schedule, you're hitting up 8 cities in Asia in 12 days. You're setting some kind of a record here. I mean, that's that's wild. Why so many cities in such a little bit of time?
I really should probably talk to my manager. I'm not really sure why they did that. It sounds like a bad idea.
No, it sounds like a great idea, man. Just don't sleep.
Well, the thing is I'd like to see more of every city. I really would. But I guess it's just the way that these tours go is kind of, they compact it all together and do a quick trip through. But I do get a day off in pretty much every city. I get a day off, so it'll give me an opportunity to walk around and explore cities that I haven't been to before. And I know I won't get to see everything, but it'll give me a good perspective, and I'll get to come back and visit another time when I take a break.
That's cool. Well, you still skate, right?
I do, yeah.
Well, I mean, Tokyo's an amazing city to skate in. I mean, there's quite a few skate parks peppered all over the city. So, I mean, you might as well just bring your board and just hit up Harajuku, Shibuya, go to Komazawa Park, hit up the half pipes there and stuff. I mean, and then after that, hit up the bars in Nakameguro, Koenji, Shimokitazawa and stuff.
That sounds good. I'll try to remember that.
Okay, well, if you have any problems, just talk to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can say that, but I will try to remember that. Listen, I don't know if I'll do any skateboarding over there. I tend to, be a little cautious, when I'm touring. I sometimes bring my board on tour just to explore cities and stuff, but, I don't know if sorry, my phone's ringing. I don't know if I'll be able to do that this time around.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't really skate half pipes anyways. I only skate street. So if I went over to Tokyo and skated a half pipe, I'd probably break my leg and the tour would be over.
Oh, man. Yeah, we don't want that. Talking about stand-up again. So you started off doing stand-up when you were very young, and then you moved to your show, and then you hit up the movies, and now you're doing stand-up again. Was it hard to get back into stand-up, or with all your experience, was it easier?
It was actually really easy, yeah. It was really, really easy. I went and I got up on stage and basically had an amazing show, and it was about 10 years ago. And sort of instantly, my first thought was, geez, I wish I had done that, sooner, I mean, I guess basically I took 10 years off. I did stand-up when I was a teenager till I was about 20, and then I didn't really do stand-up regularly in comedy clubs. I was writing my show and, making films. But there was so much stand-up within my show. So much of the tools that you need for stand-up were in making a TV show. I mean, we're writing jokes and getting up in front of an audience every night and things like that. So, but, getting back into it about, 10 years ago was amazing. I'm so glad I did. I've got such great fans all over the world, and it's sort of given me an opportunity to travel around and hang with everybody. It's my show was very kind of a unique thing at the time when it came out, and I think it really resonated with people in a way that's different than most television shows. I mean, it really kind of connected with people deeply at that time because they were people that were a certain age at that time where the media wasn't really doing that kind of thing. It really kind of did affect people in a way where here, 20 years later after the Tom Green show, debuted on MTV, I still have people that can quote every line from the show and really remember it in a really sort of meaningful way. So doing stand-up is not just like something that I love to do just for the art of doing stand-up, but I also just love that it sort of affords me the ability to travel around and get to just sort of meet everybody,
Yeah, totally.
Whoa! Look at all this. Hey, what's up? I'm Johnny, a.k.a. the SPILT Ink, the one and only, and today I'm going to make a popsicle painting. I'm really excited to do this. I've got all my paints here. It takes about this much paint to make a popsicle painting, and I've got my 2 other most important ingredients. Very strong hot coffee. Oh, actually, that's not that hot, but still, it's strong coffee. And I've got punk rock music. With these two things, nothing could go wrong. All right, with that said, let's rock.
How different is the comedy scene from city to city or country to country? I mean, you did stand up in Israel, Amsterdam, all over the States, Canada. Is it quite similar? Is it really different?
Well, basically, once you get out of New York or Los Angeles or cities that are kind of known for being comedy, hotbeds like a San Francisco or even cities like Toronto or there's major cities, right, in the world that have a big stand-up scene and lots of comedians and people doing spots and that's there's sort of a culture to it that I think is pretty consistent. And then when you get out of those markets and get into normal cities that are it's just not really it's just there's just fewer comics, right? But I mean, it's I think the similarities are always the thing that surprised me more than the differences when traveling. I mean, we're all on the internet now. I mean, you're in Tokyo. I'm in my kitchen in Los Angeles. We're talking to a little box in our hand. We both, we're talking about Bert Kreischer's podcast that I did 2 months ago. You've heard it. I heard it because I did it. We're all totally connected. Nobody really is, amazed by anything anymore when they go visit another country. I mean, it's like, oh, what's going to be like the most outrageous thing that, you would see when you travel to a city you've never been before? Like, oh, the cars are driving on the other side of the road,
Yeah.
Still got four wheels, there's still traffic lights. You can still go to a Starbucks. You can still go grab, sushi in any city in the world. You can grab Starbucks in any city in the world. I mean, it's sort of, it's sort of a depressing answer, to be honest with you. Like, I apologize for depressing you and your listeners. But
you can't depress me.
I'd say that the biggest difference, when you go to different cities in the stand-up scene is that there's virtually no difference at all. Everybody is basically doing the same fucking thing. And it's fine. We're human beings, right? We wear pants. We all wear socks, mostly. Some people don't wear socks, but most people wear socks. We walk around. We wear hats. People wear ties. In every country in the world, people wear ties. Men wear ties. They did this. Oh, I'm going to tie a little piece of cloth around my neck and let it hang there because that's what we do as men, right? Every damn culture in the whole world, we put on these suits, these nicely tailored suits, and we walk around in them. I mean, there's nowhere like you're not going to go to one city in the world where everybody's like wrapped in tinfoil and just walking around wrapped in tinfoil. Like I'd like to go somewhere where people are just walking around entirely wrapped in tinfoil and acting like it's completely normal. But there's nothing like that. It's just we're just all robotic, programmed, brainwashed blobs of water.
Well, Andy Warhol was kind of close to the tinfoil thing, and nobody's really done comedy in North Korea, so...
I've wrapped tinfoil around my head a few times, too, but, I don't do it regularly,
That's okay. That's okay. Well, I'll tell you one thing, though.
Sorry for bringing the mood down.
Dude, it's 4:00 in the morning here. It's all good.
Look, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the sushi is going to be way, way better in Tokyo than it is in Studio City, California. But
depending on where you go,
one thing, it's pretty damn good on Ventura Boulevard too.
Well, I'm sure.
I don't know. Like if you're Japanese and you're listening to this, you come over to Los Angeles, check out Sushi Nozawa. Right? I mean, you're gonna love that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably just as good.
But I'm sure, like, when you do comedy in different countries and stuff...
I mean, it's raw fish, right? How do you screw that up, really?
How can you fuck up a cup of coffee? Same thing. But the thing is, when you do go to other countries, the crowd work is completely different, right? Like Tokyo's got to be kind of like Las Vegas. You go to Las Vegas and everybody is from a different part of the world. When you come to Tokyo or Bangkok or Hong Kong, everybody there is going to be an expat from anywhere, you know?
Yeah, sure. That's true. There are variables like that. You know, you perform in Times Square, you know, you have a lot of tourists. Even the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, you have a lot of tourists, but you know, I mean, you know, yeah, I can say that with confidence that we'll be slightly different performing in Tokyo than say Cincinnati. I mean, it'll be a little bit different. When you go to a city where everybody is, you know, local, right? You do have the ability to kind of harness the energy of that local crowd. But, you know, you still have that in Tokyo. I mean, everybody who comes to the show, I'm presuming, will be living in Tokyo, right? So we'll be bonding over the fact that, you know, the audience lives in Tokyo and I don't. So we can kind of talk about that, and I can talk about how, you know, excited I am to be in Tokyo, and I'll talk to people about Tokyo. You know, I mean, you know, crowd work is always different. It's just different every time. You never know what it's. I do a lot of crowd work. I love just speaking off the cuff to the audience because it's exciting because you don't know where things are going to go. But you know, that's the consistency of that, right? The fact that you never know what's going to happen is the consistent thing about crowd work, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying there about Vegas. If Tokyo's kind of like a Vegas crowd, then you know, that's cool. I did a lot of stand-up comedy in Vegas. I did shows in Vegas last year, and you know, for every week for about a year I was in Vegas, and I know it is a different animal when you have people from all over the world in one audience, but it's actually kind of more fun actually because you get to talk to everybody about where they're from and kind of pick apart some of that experience and see where it takes you.
That's cool. Where do you come up with your material? Like, do you have like some kind of a process? Do you write every day? Do you check out newspapers? Do you write from your life and your experiences?
Yeah. I always take notes. So I don't really I do sit down to write, but usually when I sit down to write, I'm going through my notes that I already took as I was just walking around living life and talking with my friends and laughing with people. And then, you know, usually when something funny kind of pops into my head or when I say something that makes people laugh, I'll just jot it down as a note in my phone. And then, you know, whenever I sit down to write, the first thing I do is I pick up my phone and I go through all my notes. And, you know, because I just find it's kind of hard to write in a vacuum where you just sit down in an empty room at a desk by yourself and start writing. Yeah, I do that sometimes, but I feel like so much comedy comes from trying to make people laugh. So it's always easier for me when I'm talking to somebody and, you know, brainstorming with someone. I also spend a lot of time with my friends and colleagues who are writers and producers, and we do sit around and write and brainstorm on things that we think are absurd and ridiculous about the world we're living in or about my life personally. You know, I mean, I've got a lot of, you know, personal things about my life that I like to pick fun at. So, you know, it's just sort of just whatever kind of, but yeah, it's definitely a process. You know, I definitely don't just get up on stage and wing it. You know, I have certain part of my show where I do that. The trick with stand-up is to make it look like you're just getting up on stage and winging it, but you really want to have something that's meaningful to say. And I think that's a big part of why I do stand-up is I do feel like I want to kind of communicate ideas with people and possibly make people think about the world a little differently. You know, a lot of people are so caught up in their lives, you know, with their jobs and their families that they don't have time to really sit around and, you know, analyze every minute detail of the world that we're living in. Whereas, you know, that's my job, right? As a comedian, that's what I actually am supposed to do. So I have to make time to sit around and microanalyze every little mundane or important detail about the world we're living in. and then hopefully come up with something insightful that's going to make people laugh and have a good time while we're thinking about stuff. So, but it's exciting. I don't like to try to, it's an exciting thing to do, to do stand up, because you're having a good time, but you also do feel like you are maybe potentially, I mean, I don't say that, like, I don't say this without like knowing how ridiculous it sounds, but I do honestly believe that comedy can actually change things. Like it could actually resonate with people in a way where maybe they change the way they behave for the better, right? So that's important to me, and that's kind of a motivating factor for me when I do stand up. Awesome. I mean, even if it's something as simple as making someone in the audience like not be on their phone as much, like it might not change the world, but honestly, like it actually could. I think we are turning into like a whole sort of our whole humanity is turning into these robots that are like I was just on Big Brother, right? I was just on the show Big Brother. So I mean, I just spent like a month living in a house with cameras on me, and honestly, like it was weird, but it probably would have been weirder doing that show 10 years ago or 15 years ago, because right now, like we're basically already all on camera all day anyways. You go out for, you go out at night, and before you get home, your girlfriend has seen a picture of you on Instagram and she's not happy about it, right? It's like everybody is, everybody is being watched constantly, It's like, it's like you can't get away with anything anymore, No,
you can. I mean, that's basically the premise of our show.
We're all being completely tracked. So, I just think that if everybody started to realize that all at once, and people realized how sort of scary that is, and we all put our phones down or maybe even stop using them entirely, like that would actually change the world for the better. I don't think it's possible
bad for my
to
podcast.
do that, but I think that maybe if a few people did that, that would be maybe helpful for them in their own life. I know that I don't use my phone as much as I would if I wasn't thinking about that. I make a point to like set my phone in the other room and leave it there for hours at a time while everybody around me is sitting there plucking away on it like a friggin', so it's like like a robot. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we should have like an Amish day or something. Like every Thursday is like an Amish day, where you just avoid the phones and turn off TV and just go in the park, ride a bike or something like that. I mean, here in Tokyo, I mean, geez, when it comes to technology, it's pretty much everywhere here. And CCTV is just abundant here. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Our show, we cover a lot of crime stories in every single
get rid of
show.
All that. I'm just telling everyone in Tokyo, just get rid of all of that.
Unplug just for a day. Going back to your comedy, do you ever limit
permanently?
Permanently, you have to go to Hokkaido.
Let's do no more electricity in Tokyo. Let's try that.
I would love to see it.
No more electricity. Let's just do it all with, whale blubber lamps. Plenty of that over there. So. Yeah, and it'll be good.
Do you limit yourself when you do stand up? Do you ever like say maybe this joke's a little too much, or maybe I shouldn't say this, or any topics that you don't cover?
Yeah, I mean, I don't cover everything that I'm not talking about. So, I mean, there's an infinite number of topics in the world. That's what's fun about doing stand-up. There's an infinite number of topics. So there's no way I can talk about everything. So, yeah, for sure, there's got to be something I'm not talking about.
Okay. You've been a pioneer.
I don't have any bits about parameciums.
I wouldn't cover that either.
Or single-celled organisms, even. Parasites, I don't have anything about that. But I mean, if you're talking like general themes like racism, no, I mean, I talk about racism, I don't like to make racial humor, but I like to attack the idea of racism as being a disgusting thing, or like, but I stay away from like hot button subjects a little bit, because I find it's sort of been overdone, Like everybody's there are like 10 subjects or maybe 5 subjects that every stand-up comedian in the world is talking about, including myself. So it's like, do I want to? I like to limit the amount of time I spend talking about certain things. I like to think more out of the box than.
Well, I mean, your work that you're doing.
There's always
a
problem because if you get too far out of the box, no one in the audience understands what you're talking about. But there are just certain things that an audience is going to listen to more. If you talk about sex, right? Everybody in the audience is going to want to hear you talk about relationships and sex because everyone's in a relationship and everybody has sex, right? So they can relate to that.
Well, not everybody.
Talk about celebrities. Everybody all of a sudden, if you start talking about certain celebrities, it's easier to get a laugh when you're talking about, Donald Trump, right? Everybody's talking about Donald Trump because everybody's got an opinion about Donald Trump. So if you talk about Donald Trump, people are going to listen more, and then you're going to get, people's attention more. It might be polarizing, but at least you're going to get people's attention, So I do try to stay away from some of those kinds of typical subjects.
Okay, that's cool.
But that's cool, man. Listen, I appreciate you talking to me for about this. Let's tell me what the most important thing you need to know is that we haven't covered, because I'm excited to come over to Tokyo and hang out with you.
Yeah, dude, we're all looking forward for you coming here in Tokyo.
First of all, I also would like to point out the fact that I have noticed a distinct sort of skater bro kind of thing coming out of your Tokyo-ness. Like, are you from San Diego or something, dude?
No, I grew up in Detroit, and then I lived in San Francisco for a bit, and I've been in Tokyo for about...
I have sensed some California in there, bro. Right?
I didn't see the word bro at all, man.
Tokyo,
I'm trying to keep it professional. But
you're broing it out over there in Tokyo.
You've never seen my Instagram, have you?
Half pipes and skate parks and dude.
No. We're more about booze than anything. I tell you what, man, if you want booze, you're coming to the right place, man. Sake, shochu, all that stuff, we'll hook you up. I'll take you to the Satanist bar. Yeah, forget all that robot stuff if you're not into it. The Satanist bar, now that's the bar you want to go to.
My God, that sounds amazing. I love that. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll check it out for a second.
Well, you're going to be in the right neighborhood. Shimokidazawa's got a lot of great bars. Cool, Tom. Well, thank you very much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. I do too. I'll meet you when I'm over there, right? I'm going to meet you.
Definitely. I'll be in the front row.
Oh, okay. Great. Actually, don't sit in the front row.
All right.
I don't like when there's people in the front row that I've talked to for over half an hour in my life.
All right, gotcha. All right, man.
Because then I'll go, hey, what's your name, where you're from? And you'll be like, bro, dude, I'm the skater from San Francisco that you did the podcast with. And I'll be like,
I don't skateboard, but I drink. All right, I'll be at the bar.
Yeah, just be kind of midway back or at the bar at the side or something, and we'll talk after.
All right, I'll tell you what, if you can point me out, I'll buy you a drink.
Okay, if I can do that, that would be impressive. You know what? I have a feeling I probably will be able to do it, right?
No, I don't know.
You'll be the guy with the Vans on. You'll be wearing Vans. You'll have a few too many tattoos. And you'll be wearing you'll have a bone through your nose or something like that, like a pierced ears. You'll have those hoop earrings in your ears.
Earrings. Yeah, I wish I was that cool and young. Oh man, I tell you what, if I was that guy, I'll buy you a keg of beer. Oh man,
okay.
Or at least a couple bottles of sake.
All right, man.
All right,
sweet.
Tom, thank you very much. We're looking forward to seeing you here. You're going to be here at the Good Heavens Bar on April 15th. And then, actually, do you want me to plug your lineup right now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. For all our other international listeners, which we have a shit ton of, by the way, thank you very much for listening. Okay,
Thank you, everybody in the world.
Awesome. Tom Green's going to be in Singapore April 12th, Manila April 13th, Tokyo April 15th, Ho Chi Minh 17th, Shanghai 19th, Bangkok on the 20th, Phuket, I can never say that one right, on the 22nd, and Hong Kong on the 24th. And after that, hopefully he does come back to Tokyo, and I'll see him at the bar, not the skate park.
Yeah. All right, bro. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom. All right. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, man. Awesome.
All right.